This strain is called Starry Night by AeroPro. They put the stickers right in the way. But it's the Artisan Series by AeroPro. I opened it on September 26th. September 26th. And it is what? October 26th. So it's exactly a month old. The state of Ohio designates those cartridges to last, about a day for people. Or at least that's how they qualify it. This cartridge is a month old today. And it still has quite a bit in it. It has an interesting fruit flavor. A berry, fruity, sweet flavor. No citrus. A little bit of a sweet chlorophyll flavor, not like a pine flavor with some of them. Like Northern Lights is very citrusy and I can taste pine in it. This is a sweeter, kind of I guess maybe a dessert flavor. It's really good. And it actually helps quite a bit. Most people would probably think that, due to the possibility of psychosis, I would suffer from it. It's not that. It's just I've always been this way. I've always had the Tourette's-like syndrome, the shits of the mouth. Their medications from the pharmaceutical industry always made things 10 times worse. All that paperwork, all that fraudulent, falsified stuff and paperwork really has me so upset. They want to, claim that me talking about the night terrors involved in the true story is, just complete lunacy. But in my opinion, it should be made known what those psychotropic medications from the pharmaceutical industry helped create and fuel. They talk about the opioid epidemic like it's, it is really fucking bad. It is really bad. But they never talk about the epidemic within the psychotropic drugs. And I mean, antidepressants are psychotropic medications. I know my family members, the ones who have been on them, have been on them for decades. I was on them from 13 until 33. Well, no, up until the last year. So 13 to 35. 22 years. And I mean, it takes a long time. I don't want to say it like that because that's kind of excusing it, but it takes a long time for all those neurotransmitters and everything to realign and be at their natural levels. Those medications cause disinhibition at inappropriate levels. in my opinion. I'm only the patient. I only experienced it, before, during, and after. With no cannabis, with cannabis, with no cannabis, with cannabis. I've never tried any of the other harder things. I don't even know if they were probably porcini mushrooms. Who knows? Of course, opiate based pain management. But like I have stated, no chronic pain patient, in my opinion, if they're a true chronic pain patient, would tell you, yeah, I want to be on pain management. No, it doesn't work that way. When you're a chronic pain patient, you dread taking the next dosage because you know, man, that's just going to make the constipation worse. That's just going to make the nausea worse. That's just going to make the fatigue and brain fog and, the whole host of the side effects symptoms that come along with opiate based pain management. But if you skip a dose, you're going to start to go into like withdrawal symptoms. And for me, it was worth it skipping a dose sometimes just to have a bowel movement. And that's no way to live. I did the best I could to overcome the physical limitations while managing pain naturally, or more naturally. There was always a need for pain management, always. Maybe not on the daily all the time, but I really had fucked myself up when I was on round the clock opiate based pain management, pushing myself so damn hard. And there was just some news article about trauma in the autoimmune system on Google earlier. I can't remember what it was though. That's why it is so important that we stop stigmatizing mental health the way we do and actually address trauma as it occurs. Because believe it or not, that trauma, they say that a mindset, well, people with a bad attitude are just more likely to like catch a cold or get sick. Well, all that trauma, psychological trauma, can activate whatever triggers autoimmune illness. And those are no picnics. I know the world we live in is crazy enough as it is without people fighting over nothing. And in my opinion, it all comes down to one person feeling disrespected or offended, or one group of people. My apologies, I didn't understand your cultural point of view on, said topic. Didn't mean to offend you. I didn't mean to disrespect you, just like I would expect you to show the same courtesy. Gay people are not all promiscuous, devious heathens. You have those kind of people in every group, everywhere across the world. Most gay people are just normal, like heteros, like you, like everyone else. They just want to be happy, healthy, some security, to try to help society. Most people view homosexuality as like, I don't know, anti government. You people are just trying to like stir the shit pot per se. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Out of every group of people I've been in and interacted with and mingled into, the gay community, even though, it has its different parts. Like, there are mafia fags, there are mob fags, there are drag queens, there are drag kings, there are just the, you know, anonymous donors, blah, blah, blah. The gay community is the most united, I think. It's not like I know any members of any gangs that I'm aware of, but it's just, those are facts of life, aren't they? I forgot exactly what phrase I was going to use about the gay community being united. Oh well. It's better to be pain free and medicated and still halfway coherent, since nobody ever listens to my stories and theories and ideas anyway. It was awfully interesting that after I made that mention of the Latino grocery store, that the sheriff here said they were going to stop spending money on helping ICE as much. But that's only right. Yeah, assist if it becomes like a dangerous situation. But if it's just ICE coming in to get some people and deport them, let them do it. They get paid. But the traffic stuff, that's another suggestion if anybody's listening, if anybody wants to know the traffic things, especially with Ohio becoming a no permit carry state. I just don't know how to feel about that. While I think people should be allowed to possess firearms as long as they're not batshit crazy, and they should be required to have training, I just, the whole, there are other ways to generate revenue, is how I see it. But open carry or whatever it's called with no permit, I just don't know how to feel about that. With more people carrying weapons and it not being known, because, I don't know how Ohio is, but Kentucky, I don't even think they had like a registry for the firearms. Don't you have to have them registered or something? That's how little I know about guns because I don't like them. Well, anyway, like if people don't have a permit, then there's definitely no way of knowing whether they have a firearm, especially if it's unregistered or whatever, however the fuck that stuff works. I hate guns. Firearms prohibition was the stupidest way of them doing whatever the fuck in its entirety they were doing. Anyway, the traffic things. If somebody's speeding, unless they're like, being absolutely fucking crazy, weaving in and out, get their license plate and send them a ticket that's like tripled. The minor traffic things. Leave people alone, get their license plates and mail them shit. And I think that that should be passed into law. I mean, I'm in Ohio now, but Kentucky and Ohio. Law enforcement officials should not be allowed to lie to children. That does no good. I mean, my God, listen to the fucking situation. Listen to the situation that I went through. It's accurate to the best of my memory. I wasn't offended by it. I didn't feel persecuted by it. At the same time, it was quite different. No one was more harmful than my immediate family. Overall, because that happened multiple times and, for the longest. Other than law enforcement, I'm almost certain it was a black blunt force object that night. My memory's so fuzzy of it. But then again, I was having the episodes coming to in one of the barns, disoriented, not knowing whether it was night or day, asking my mother, because it's cow chow time, milking time, dairy farm, and her just giggling. Whatever. And that's how I grew up. Like I stated, it's basically like a dementia patient. Just different. So I took 10 milligrams of Valium, some Percocet, cannabis. That's not being like, hey, look at me, look what I'm doing. This is probably the calmest I've been in quite some time. But I did have that bone pain thing earlier today. I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and take, a little bit of the Oxy along with this to see. And it's nice. I feel like I can sleep. I don't know if that'll happen though. Man. Oh wow. Delete. I probably should just stop doing these. I've documented everything, at least 10 times per over 100 videos. Each little thing, probably at least 10 times, if not more. That's what happens when my brain gets into one of its loops there. Its loops. Man, why in the fuck have we created society to be such assholes? We need to decriminalize small amounts of all drugs. It punishes the wrong people, especially those incarcerated. We need to get rid of minimum mandatory sentencing, especially in areas like that. We need to decriminalize sex work and create that mental health field I talked about to help people. Well, not necessarily sex workers, but decriminalizing it would open this area. Rape victims who can't even stand to have someone touch them. If there would be a way to work one on one with them and help them. That recirculating steam shower. Somebody tell Thomas Massey. He's an engineer. He must know patent people. Tell him I want one. A steam shower or a recirculating shower uses, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 gallons of water and just constantly filters it and recirculates it. But a steam recirculating shower, because a 20-minute steam shower uses about 2 gallons of water, and it's actually really healthy for you, like a sauna. If I ever was able to build my own home, my master suite would have a fucking, like, completely tricked out shower system with the steam, aromatherapy, recirculating, rainfall shower head, and then like multiple like back things with a bench in it, and then a separate huge soaking tub that is somehow easily accessible, like steps into it or something. Like I said, my dream home, the main beginning of it, after the foyer, would be a huge atrium like greenhouse then a courtyard in between the master suites. Very interesting design. I wish I could draw it up, but I can't. I'm not that creative. Time to post and start another one.